I have a question for you, my esteemed viewer. Why does mainstream science continue to deny the historical and ongoing existence of extraterrestrial contact with human beings on Earth? Why do science programs on television and in other mass media forms such as magazines and whatnot continue to maintain the apparent fiction that humanity is still in search for intelligent life in the universe beyond Earth? And with that in mind, as far as modern religion, why does institutionalized Christianity correspondingly support this denial of extraterrestrial contact as manifested in UFOs, or if you're the Pentagon and you feel more comfortable, UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomenon, or NASA, as they choose to refer to UFOs. But they're UFOs, all right? Whether you maintain your sense of integrity with your institution's suppression, such as NASA and the United States government, systematic suppression of this information from the American public and the world. Ancient Gnostics, though, they were hip. These ancient Gnostic disciples of Yeshua, they critically illuminate this denial as far as the question of why would institutionalized Christianity support this denial of extraterrestrial activity. Extraterrestrial denial within Western science and Christianity manifests from a consciousness even, in which human beings have been seduced to pursue materialistic power and oppression against one another. Gnostics suggest that this apparent seduction has been amplified by manipulative extraterrestrials, which Gnostics had sought to help warn humanity about. Biblical warnings about manipulative extraterrestrials have been censored by Christian religious cultist elites, Vatican, your preacher at the neighborhood, institutionalized religious structure. The Bible itself, in pre-translated forms as presented by biblical scholars, actually contains specific warnings against these apparent manipulative extraterrestrials who have apparently sought to control, exploit, and oppress humanity through mass deception. However, translated forms of the Bible, including the notable King James Version, which was actually tampered with by Francis Bacon, a well-known Mason, who also apparently was Shakespeare, Francis Bacon. But anyway, for example, Ephesians 6:12 in the King James Version of the Bible, used as a basis for more modern translation, stipulates, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." In sharp contrast, a direct uncensored translation from Greek, according to biblical scholars, indicates the following: "For our struggle is not against human beings, but against the rulers, against the powers, against the world forces of this darkness, against the spiritual." The acknowledgement of extraterrestrial contact by Christianity and by mainstream science in the now industrialized West would elevate the human consciousness in a manner that would empower humanity relative to prospective positive and negative implications of extraterrestrial species and their presences even. However, prevailing elites do not substantively seek to empower humanity in spite of the public relations allusions to wanting the spread of freedom and democracy. Christianity and lamestream science in the West have evolved as pillars of the maintenance of oppressive regimes that substantively seek to perpetuate empire rather than spread human rights. Extraterrestrial denial in the industrialized West is a phenomenon of capitalist society where elites seek to maintain their status by repressing critical knowledge, which would lead to a society freed of elitist oppression. Capitalism flourishes by maintaining greed-driven commercial profits based upon enforcing societal ignorance that prevents the public from getting access to knowledge which might dampen profits from consumer demands. Maintaining ignorance about extraterrestrials has become inextricably linked to the dysfunctional evolution and maintenance of an oppressive system of capitalism, which thrives alongside individual ignorance. Christianity was created by elites and in the guise of spreading the message of God was executed to spread empire through the creation of an elite-driven religious bureaucracy. Christianity was the tool that Romans and other empires since then have used to pacify and oppress the masses. Western science became the secular mechanism used by the empires of the West to correspondingly oppress the masses through the development of destructive technologies associated with the political military industrial complex and through manipulated official pools of knowledge. These highly managed pools of knowledge are under elite ownership. These managed pools of knowledge are also collusively directed in the capitalist system through formal educational systems, broad socialization, and interconnected mass media organizations from television to the print media. In reality, the spreaders of Christianity and lamestream science and the evolution of the industrialized West were pursuing a collective agenda to maintain oppressive power, which required denying extraterrestrial contact. The apparent conflict between religion and science is a managed conflict and is a mass deception strategy through which political theater, which is orchestrated to give the appearance of an uncontrolled and critical debate. In reality, both sides of that debate are controlled by the same confederacy of elites who are linked to the joint pursuit of empire through the opportunistic use of religion and science under capitalism. Those seek to oppress the masses and to subvert a critical, empowering awareness of the humanity identity in the universe relative to extraterrestrials, revealing an extraterrestrial presence by modern science and institutionalized Christianity would inspire a Gnostic-like awakening, including a reappreciation of the human identity in relation to source. Indeed, ancient Gnostics appeared to view source, God, associated with the evolution of Christian dogma as a false God, the little g God, the Anunnaki who portrayed God, the Draco, created under the influence of what was referred to as the manipulative extraterrestrials associated with the Old Testament, the Yahweh, anybody, and other religious systems cultivated by repressive empires on earth. These reportedly include the gods of pre-Christian Rome and even Egypt, and other such religious-based oppressive empires. Let's talk about Gnostic cosmology. Gnostics appear to view God as the original creative consciousness of our universe, associated with free will. The aeons were the messengers of God, manifested through enlightened, ethical, extraterrestrial contact on Earth. In contrast, the archons were the fallen angels, which had also been originally created by God, but through free will chose to rebel against God by choosing a greed-driven path, which sought to conquer this universe. It appears that these fallen angels became what Gnostics referred to as demons, influenced by lower dimensional density. Extraterrestrials from outside of this universe, the Orions, the Draco, the NEBU Empire. The elements of these apparent de-evolved, manipulative, extraterrestrial, demonic consciousness sought to attract to other hideous intelligences through this universe, which apparently included those on Earth. In so doing, the collectives of these negative consciousness sought to enslave planetary civilizations with the use of cooperating elites from the civilization. The result of this collusion would be eventual enslavement of sentient beings and total planetary environmental destruction from over exploitation.
Namaste, namaskar.
We'll pick that up a little bit later, folks. Hope you're having a great Sunday.